Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local verified solar experts, community projects and heat pump specialists in your area. And by this year's electric vehicle raffle for the planet from CCAN Action Fund. Buy your ticket today to support CCAN Action Fund's mission to fight for cleaner air and a healthier environment, and get 3 chances to win a brand new EV with every ticket. Welcome back to another episode of TEN Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. Today's show includes another slug of frankly bizarre FUD and bad news, but I'll do my best to keep everything light. If you've been paying attention to EV sales figures lately, you might have noticed that Kia's EV9 3-row electric SUV saw a sudden drop in US sales last month, despite selling more than 22,000 units there last year. Now we know why. While EV skeptics may point to poor demand, the truth is far more encouraging. The EV9 actually sold better than Kia expected, and every single 2025 Model Year EV9 now appears to be spoken for. That's great news for the refreshed model, which is just about to go on sale. And as I covered a few weeks ago, the new EV9 is up to $2,000 cheaper than the outgoing model and comes with several updates, including new paint options and NACS as standard, meaning that you will need adapters for non-NACS stations. Because it's now made in the US, it also qualifies for federal tax incentives, as long as they remain in effect. General Motors announced $4 billion in planned investments into its US manufacturing facilities this week, as it works to shift production and avoid the ire of the federal US government. While the news includes EV plans, like the next-generation Chevrolet Bolt EV, which is due by the end of this year, and a new, as yet unnamed, affordable EV at the same Kansas production facility, there's also a clear pivot towards gasoline models. GM's Orion facility, once set to be EV only, will now build full-size SUVs and pickups with massive V8 engines. Spring Hill Manufacturing, which was also EV-focused, will now produce gasoline Cadillac's XT5 and XT6 models, plus a gasoline Chevrolet Blazer, alongside the Cadillac Lyriq and Vistique EVs. Meanwhile, Factory Zero in Michigan will concentrate on GM's large electric pickups and SUVs, with the company dropping plans to expand those models to other facilities. GM says it's responding to customer choice, but I think it's hard to ignore the political strings being pulled behind the scenes. BMW has been teasing more information this week about its upcoming iX3 electric sports activity vehicle, releasing videos and technical details alongside exclusive media drives. Sadly, we weren't among those invited to test drive, but BMW used the sessions to show just how close the iX3 is to production, and by all accounts, it's looking very promising. The iX3 is the first BMW to be built on the brand's all-new New Class platform, and it packs a lot of technology inside, including its new panoramic vision, which projects information across the windscreen from A-pillar to A-pillar. DC fast charging support up to 400 kilowatts is now standard, dramatically reducing charging times, and BMW says the iX3 can manage around 800 kilometers or 500 miles on the WLTP test cycle in its most efficient form. Vehicle-to-load and vehicle-to-grid capabilities come as standard, with up to 19 kilowatts of bi-directional charging goodness. Pricing and launch markets will be announced soon, so watch this space. Cadillac has officially launched its most powerful Optiq model yet, the 2026 Optiq V. Based on the same Ultium platform as the rest of the Optiq lineup, this compact crossover will be the most affordable V-Series model yet, but it still packs 519 horsepower, that's about 386 kilowatts, as well as 650 pound-feet or 880 newton-meters of torque. That power launches it through the stoplight sprint in just 3.5 seconds. It's also the first GM vehicle to come with NACS as standard, and its 85 kilowatt-hour battery pack gives an estimated 275 miles, around 440 kilometers of range per charge on the EPA test cycle. Launch markets will include the US, Canada, the Middle East and Israel, with the US launch price starting at just under $60,000. Over the last decade, EVs have often been pressed into emergency use as police cars, ambulances, or auxiliary support vehicles. But this week, Renault unveiled a new vehicle that fits perfectly into that role, the Renault Vision 4 Rescue. While it's just a one-off, it certainly looks the part, sporting custom fire service decals marking it as an emergency vehicle. Based on the Renault 4 E-Tech, the Vision 4 Rescue has subtle upgrades to make it more robust, but what really stands out is a pair of drones stored in a dedicated roof-mounted unit. One drone is designed for long-range operation, the other for short-range tasks. According to partner Software Republic, these drones help emergency services better understand situations on the ground from the air. V2X comes as standard, along with tech that detects fires and other hazards in real time, as well as AI cybersecurity and virtual simulation capabilities, making the car a true operations centre during major incidents. Former executives from Lordstown Motors, the firm that filed for bankruptcy protection 2 years ago, have asked a federal judge to dismiss a case brought by former investors. The suit accuses them of misleading investors with allegedly false statements about the Lordstown endurance pickup. Named defendants include former CEO Stephen Burns, along with Julia Rodriguez, Cayman Flannery, Shane Brown, Rich Schmidt, and Darren Post. All defendants claim the now infamous Hindenburg research report didn't reveal anything new about the company. But I should note it accused the company of lacking a sellable product and misleading buyers. Given the current political climate, we can expect them to succeed. But earlier this week, in a curious twist, a photo from Iceland shows an endurance truck broken down and awaiting a tow. The note on the truck said it had been shipped from the US for testing, but had broken down while there and would be removed presently. We'll share more if and when it ever surfaces. One of the biggest challenges to EV adoption around the world isn't price, availability, or even vehicle capability. It's misinformation. And this week, a new survey highlighted just how much of an issue that really is. According to researchers from the University of Queensland in Australia, alongside 3 partner institutions in Germany, misinformation about EVs is widespread around the world and causing real problems for owners and potential owners. The study combined 4 separate surveys into EV attitudes, with one asking non-EV owners about their views on intentionally false claims. More than 36% of respondents across the US, Germany, Austria and Australia agreed with those falsehoods, including ones that said that EVs are more likely to catch fire, emit harmful radiation and have non-upgradable battery packs. Others believed emissions from manufacturing were being intentionally underreported. But all of these claims have been thoroughly debunked by the industry, yet that level of misinformation remains a serious barrier to wider EV adoption, especially when lawmakers in the US and elsewhere are now intentionally leaning into that FUD. And talking of FUD, it's no secret that Akio Toyoda, former CEO of Toyota and now chairman of the brand, is not a fan of EVs and spreads some significant bovine byproduct to support this position. This week, he doubled down, claiming one EV causes as much pollution as 3 hybrids. He made the comments as Toyota celebrated selling its 27 millionth hybrid since the first Prius launched in 1997. And while his claims might sound plausible in Japan, where grid emissions rose after the Fukushima shutdown, EVs get cleaner as grids decarbonize. In fact, most studies show EVs reach lifestyle emissions parity with hybrids after about 5 years of typical driving. And that doesn't include the upstream emissions from oil drilling, refining and transportation, often ignored in hybrid life cycle assessments. Whichever way you slice it, his claims just don't hold up. But given how much media attention he attracts, expect his talking points to hit Fox News and other outlets, and then the White House and Capitol Hill very soon after. Talking of politics, and yes, we are at that point in the news, the US president has signed a congressional resolution trying to block California from setting its own vehicle emission rules. The resolution would gut California's zero-emission vehicle mandate and force the state to allow more polluting vehicles onto its roads. It was passed using the Congressional Review Act, a rarely used Reagan-era tool now increasingly weaponized to reverse regulations. But according to the Senate parliamentarian, the non-partisan official who ensures laws comply with existing statutes, it's illegal. which means a legal showdown between California and the White House is almost guaranteed. The resolution also targets emission limits for heavy-duty trucks, and it's a full-on attack on clear air policy. And as a citizen of the US, I weep. And I know I'm not alone. And finally, for this segment, while the White House marches towards full authoritarianism, Senate Republicans are doubling down on cruelty, trying to make the One Big Beautiful Bill even worse. The bill passed the House last month, but now in the Senate, multiple politicians want to hike the proposed EV and hybrid tax even higher. They want to punish EV drivers further, slashing all incentives and sticking the knife in with new taxes on fuel-efficient vehicles. One senator, Bernie Moreno of Ohio, a former auto dealer who took in more than $750,000 from the auto industry in the last election cycle, that's according to Open Secrets, is pushing for a $500 per EV per year tax. That is twice what the House agreed to. And this isn't a coincidence. It's a deliberate attack aimed at choking off cleaner transportation and protecting the fossil fuel status quo. They want to rip savings from families who choose greener rides and slow the EV revolution to a crawl. And Consumer Reports spoke out this week against that EV tax proposal, calling them punitive taxes designed to confiscate fuel savings from customers who just want to save money for their families. They've urged Congress to drop the proposal completely, and of course, we here agree. Our short shorts are coming in a moment, but first a word from one of today's sponsors, Energy Sage, who can help US residents green their homes' energy and heating before those federal tax incentives are killed. Energy Sage connects with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can guide you through the process of installing solar panels or getting a heat pump installed. And if you're not a homeowner, no worries. Energy Sage can help you green your electricity by helping you join a community solar program. We used Energy Sage ourselves and we were looking for installers helping us put panels on the roof, and the verified pros were knowledgeable and even introduced us to a great credit union that allowed us to finance the project with low monthly payments. Follow the links below to sign up for Energy Sage's free, no-obligation services and get the ball rolling today. If you choose an Energy Sage installer, we'll also receive a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us out too. Help the grid get greener, save money, and support the show? It's a win-win-win. And now, it's time for our news shorts. Rivian has issued a recall for approximately 540 R1T and R1S vehicles produced between 2022 and 2025. The recall addresses a potential issue with the D-ring bolts on one or both front seat belt anchor points. Affected vehicles will be inspected and repaired under warranty. Mercedes-Benz has recalled just under 100 EQ-badged electric vehicles due to incorrectly installed software in the acoustic vehicle alerting system. In the affected vehicles, the factory-installed software prevents the system from producing the correct pedestrian warning sounds. Orange EV is recalling approximately 1,000 electric haulage and drayage trucks due to a potential issue with the bolt securing the upper steering shaft clamp that may have been incorrectly tightened during assembly. Affected trucks will be inspected and any necessary parts will be replaced. 172 Tesla Model Y vehicles have been recalled to fix an issue with the hose connector on the front windshield washers. The connector may block the washer nozzle, preventing fluid from reaching the windscreen. Owners will be notified about the recall. Just under 41,500 Cadillac Lyriq EVs are being recalled by GM due to an issue with a video display. In some cases, the dashboard and center console screens can go completely blank, creating a potential safety hazard. The video display controller module will be updated via an over-the-air update or at a dealer service, depending on owner preference. 192 Ford F150 Lightnings are also being recalled to correct an improper repair from a previous recall involving the tyre pressure monitoring system. The fix involves replacing the entire body control module, and the faulty repair will cause the TPMS warning lights to fail to illuminate as required by federal law until the fix is applied. Voltron, an Indonesian charging point operator, has partnered with Geely to install charging stations at dealerships nationwide. These dealerships will offer convenient charging infrastructure, aiming to support the growth of EV adoption in Indonesia. Leapmotor is continuing its European expansion, completing market launches in the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Slovenia, Hungary, Croatia, Bulgaria, and Ireland. There are now more than 600 sales and service points across Europe for the Leapmotor brand. The EU Commission has selected 13 projects outside the EU for strategic raw material acquisition, complementing 47 ongoing projects within the EU. These initiatives aim to secure key minerals essential for manufacturing, including those used in EV production. While the White House claimed this week that a new trade deal with China is nearly finalized, promising a resumption of rare metal exports to the US, new data shows a 73% year-over-year drop in US auto imports in May due to the trade war, which is likely to cost the industry millions of dollars in lost revenue. If you need more proof that automakers must produce more affordable EVs, though, look no further than the Kia EV4. In just its second month on sale, it soared to the top of the electric sedan charts in Korea. Starting at around $30,000 equivalent, it is flying off dealer lots. Tourism group TUI has just launched an electric car initiative thanks to a new partnership with Smart. It plans on installing EV charging stations at least 1,000 of its hotel locations by the end of the decade and has worked with Smart to develop a special edition TUI branded Smart No. 1 and Smart No. 3. Volvo Cars has signed a new supply agreement with Swedish steelmaker SSAB to supply recycled and near-zero emission steel for its vehicle production. Volvo has been working hard to cut overall emissions, and lowering the carbon footprint of EV production plays a major role in improving life cycle emissions. Rivian and Volkswagen have been working together on new EV architectures for a while as part of a $5 billion investment from Volkswagen into a joint partnership with Rivian. This week, Rivian confirmed that its R2 tech stack will underpin all of the future electric vehicles from Volkswagen. Built to be modular and scalable, the R2 platform should give Volkswagen a serious welcome edge over its competitors. Hyundai has begun teasing its upcoming performance version of the Ioniq 6, the Ioniq 6N. Like the Ioniq 5N before it, this sporty sedan promises serious performance wrapped in a sleek package. It's set to make its official debut at the Goodwood Festival of Speed in the UK this summer. Salvage crews have reached the site of the Morning Midas, which caught on fire on June 3rd while en route from China to Mexico with 3,048 cars aboard. The blaze is believed to have started on a deck carrying EVs. The ship remains off of the Aleutian Islands in Alaska. BMW has confirmed it intends to build electric versions of its upcoming X5 and X7 crossover SUVs in the US, with an iX6 coupe EV due to follow shortly thereafter. Moving EV production to the company's South Carolina facility will help avoid excess import tariffs currently levied by the White House. The Swiss Federal Assembly's Council of States has approved a new motion from the National Council that would guarantee all citizens the right to charge EVs. The motion directs the government to create a legal framework ensuring access to charging infrastructure, including for those living in rental properties. A new startup out of New York State has unveiled what it claims is America's first modern ultra-luxury EV, the Decora. Styled like something straight out of the 1930s, it promises 400 miles of range and a price tag of $500,000. Because look, in a world increasingly defined by wealth inequality and a growing screw the poor mentality, what better way to flaunt how wealthy you are? I'm being sarcastic. Maruti Suzuki has lowered production targets for the all-electric e-Vitara, cutting output by 66%. Besides limiting launch availability, this could significantly alter rollout plans in key markets. The company cites China's rare earth export restrictions as its primary reason for the reduction. Rivian and Weave Grid announced a new partnership this week that will help bring smart charging functionality to all Rivians by year's end. This could reward Rivian owners for how and when they charge, that is, if they allow Weave Grid and Rivian to manage their vehicles' charging. A newly released report shows that the US set a new solar record in Q1, adding 10.8 gigawatts of new solar capacity to the grid, 82% of all new energy added to the grid for the period. At the same time, the US added 8.6 gigawatts of new solar module manufacturing capacity. But SEIA and Wood Mackenzie, the report's authors, warn this could change very soon due to the White House's ardent anti-green policies. As it celebrates starting cell production at its new facility in Douai, France, AESC has officially halted plans for a new battery plant in South Carolina. The factory was set to supply BMW with cells, but US politics and incentive removals effectively forced the decision. Lemonade, a high-tech focused US auto insurer, is facing backlash and allegations of negligently exposing driver license data from 190,000 customers to cybercriminals over a period of 17 months due to a major website bug that it still has failed to properly fix. A class action lawsuit is in the works. Toshiba Corporation has started sample shipments of its newest lithium-ion battery, featuring a niobium-titanium oxide anode. This design boasts safety, enables rapid charging, and offers volumetric energy density comparable to LFP cells. We can expect volume production if sample testing is successful. Korean firm LS Materials has unveiled a new charging station combining onboard batteries with capacitors to reduce grid demand spiking while fast-charging EVs. While battery-integrated stations exist, this marks the first use of capacitors in such a system. While many Chinese automakers are racing to establish European manufacturing facilities for EVs and batteries, Geely has confirmed it will not rush to build new EV or battery plants in Europe. But that's no surprise, because it owns Volvo, which already operates factories producing electric vehicles on the continent. Silence has refreshed its nanocar lineup across Europe. Sold through Nissan dealerships, the new entry-level L6e compliant model starts at under €10,000, while the L7e Plus model offers improved range and performance. More dealerships will also carry the updated, more capable models soon. A European Commission-backed project has been approved to deploy €10 million in funding to accelerate megawatt-charging development for electric trucks. The goal is to build a robust continent-wide megawatt-charging network by the end of the decade. Bengaluru, India has launched a new EV fast-charging site powered entirely by a 45 kilowatt peak solar array and backed up by a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The site features 18 fast chargers and 5 slow chargers, supporting up to 23 simultaneous EV charging events at once. A short section of the A6 Autobahn in Bavaria has officially begun testing inductive charging for EVs. The 1 kilometer stretch is part of the EM Power project and will be trialled during the second half of the year. Daimler Truck and Toyota have agreed to merge their Japanese commercial vehicle subsidiaries, Mitsubishi Fuso and Hino Motors, for domestic market. Both brands currently offer both internal combustion and battery electric models. Ampol, in partnership with Stellantis and its free-to-move car share fleet, is deploying battery swap stations across Madrid. The stations will support specially modified Fiat 500Es, with over 100 swap-capable cars expected on the road by mid-year. Following a successful May order book opening for the Kia PV5 in the UK, Kia has now opened the order books in Korea. As with the UK, the PV5 will be available in multiple configurations from panel van to passenger minivan, which positions it as a direct competitor to the Volkswagen ID Buzz. General Motors says it's secured its spot as America's number 2 EV seller, with more than 62,000 units sold so far this year. Its most popular model is the Equinox EV, and according to insiders, GM now has its sights set on Tesla, which is struggling nationwide to maintain interest in its lineup. Electric bike brand Van Moof, whose bankruptcy left many customers stranded with bikes they couldn't even unlock, is back. Its new S6 series is open for reservations, with deliveries due in August. But at over €3,000, it is far from a budget comeback. As China's rare earth export bans squeeze many automakers, Hyundai confirmed it holds a larger stack of critical materials this week, giving it far more wiggle room than rivals in EV production. While China may soon finalise a deal with the US, its export restrictions continue to impact the global marketplace. It's official. New York City is preparing a new law that will limit electric bike speeds to 15 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour. Currently, bikes can reach up to 25 miles per hour while being legal, which is 40 kilometers per hour, but safety concerns have pushed that limit lower. Volkswagen insiders told Autocar magazine in the UK this week that the brand is considering a new all-electric model, closer in size and shape to the original Bud E concept from 2016. The vehicle will be smaller than the ID Buzz and likely sold in Europe and other markets that favour smaller vehicles. And finally, for the news shorts, smart meter company Sense has launched a new tool for utilities to identify how many EVs are charging across their area. The Grid Edge product runs on AMI 2.0 smart meters and doesn't rely on the cloud. It helps utilities track EV usage and timing, enabling better grid planning. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are next, but first a quick word from our friends at CCAN Action Fund. And believe me, this is one ad you won't want to skip because it's offering you the chance to drive off in a brand new electric vehicle while supporting an amazing non-profit that's working for a cleaner environment. This year, the electric vehicle raffle for the planet from CCAN Action Fund is its best yet because every ticket gives you not one but 3 chances to win an amazing EV, letting you transition to a cleaner future. The grand prize winner gets to pick from one of 6 luxury new EVs: the rugged Rivian R1S SUV, the powerful Rivian R1T pickup, a brand new Lucid Gravity SUV, ultra-efficient Lucid Air sedan, a sought-after Porsche Macan EV, or the iconic Porsche Taycan, while second place winners will get a choice of the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or our recent favourite, the Volkswagen ID Buzz. And for the third place, there's also a third place EV winner, the highly popular Chevy Equinox EV. Only 10,000 tickets will be sold. Tickets are just $200 and support the CCAN Action Fund's mission to fight for a cleaner air and healthier environment. Even better, the group covers state and federal taxes. As for tariffs, no problem because they are covered too. Head over to www.evraffle.org to grab your ticket, that's evraffle.org, or check out the show notes or even the on-screen QR code to win the EV of your dreams. And now it's time for those last two stories. Chinese tech company Xiaomi has been causing quite a stir in the automotive market in China, with its SU7 outselling far more established brands and models in its first year of production. But of course, its SU7 Ultra, a high-performance variant of its popular sedan, has been taking names on the track, setting records and impressing both bystanders and petrolheads alike. This week, fresh from a new sponsorship partnership at the Nürburgring in Germany, the Xiaomi SU7 Ultra has set a new track record, usurping every rival performance EV to become the fastest production EV on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, setting a time of 7 minutes, 4.957 seconds. It was 341 thousandths of a second faster than the previous record holder, the Rimac Nevera. Now, if you're paying attention, you might remember that an SU7 set a record last year, lapping the Green Hell in just 6 minutes and 46.874 seconds. But it's worth noting that that version of the car wasn't a production vehicle, but a triple-motor prototype. This new record, though, that was a lightly race-prepared stock model. And finally, Kenyan electric mobility company Rome has seen a meteoric rise in recent years, expanding its portfolio to include electric motorcycles, buses, energy storage and energy generation. And this week it unveiled the second generation of its popular Rome Air electric motorcycle. Rome's bikes have become incredibly popular with boda boda operation, that's motorcycle taxis, across Kenya. For the Gen 2 model, Rome worked directly with riders to make it even better. It boasts more than 40 upgrades, including battery locks, a stronger frame capable of carrying 20 extra kilograms, and a design that's both lighter and easier to handle. It's also more locally made. 36% of its components are now made locally in Kenya, supporting jobs and improving serviceability. We featured a $500,000 EV earlier in the show, but honestly, companies like Rome are where my heart is. If our electrification efforts don't include everyone, we're not building an equitable future. We're just reinforcing old stereotypes. And after the week we've had here in the US, frankly, I've had enough of the anti-equity, anti-equality backslide we seem hell-bent on right now. And on that note, we're done for today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring the show. The EVA has been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967, and they believe, just like we do, that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric transportation today. They can connect you with EV educators, local meetups, and even help you make the transition to a cleaner vehicle. And if you do become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program created in partnership with the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more at myeva.org. Thanks also go to Energy Sage. Follow the link below to connect with trusted, verified solar experts who can help you put panels on your roof, join a community solar program, or even get a heat pump installed. Taking control of your energy future has never been easier. And also thanks to CCAN Action Fund. Buy your tickets today at www.evraffle.org and be quick. There's only 10,000 tickets being sold. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so for $1.50 a month on Patreon, and if you can, we'd really appreciate it. YouTube's policies have made it harder for creators like us to make a living, and while YouTube is now running 8 to 10 ads per video we publish, the money we get back is just a fraction of what it was a few years ago. That plus YouTube deciding that hate speech isn't hate speech and failing to moderate it. Well, honestly, we wish we could be somewhere else. So, look, if our comments section disappears, that's why. Because there are only so many times we can be threatened with violence in a country where the police, and yes, even federal authorities, have shown time and time again that they do not have our community's best interests at heart. Don't forget, too, that we're also available for third-party video production work in the Portland, Oregon area. You can find our latest merch, including our Pride designs, at our merch store. And down below, you should also find an Amazon affiliate link that helps support the channel if and when you have to use it. We publish every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on this channel. And then on every Sunday, we drop 2 videos on Transport Evolved Take 2, which is our informal, behind-the-scenes channel. To finish, remember this: you're valid, you are loved, and you belong, even when politicians, corporations, and hateful voices try to say otherwise. I frankly have no words for what's been happening this week, and I would be very angry if I start talking about it in detail. So I'll just say this: we have to keep going. We have to resist. We have to stand up for decency, for community, and for basic human rights. But also remember, even the strongest people need rest. So it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to take a break for your mental health. But if you can, right here, right now, if you're in the US, please get involved. Protest peacefully. Build communities. Resist. So, until next time, stay safe wherever you are, whoever you love. Be an ally, be kind, be that positive change you want to see in the world. And please, for the sake of everyone's future, don't let hate or ignorance win. As always, keep evolving.